is that South Africa should not be used as a template for the rest of Africa.
Finally, Nigeria has now been admitted as a partner country in BRICS. And I know most of you are aware that this has been our struggle since 2022. You know, when we started advocating extensively, I think to some degree since 2021, when we started advocating extensively that Nigeria needs to join the BRICS.
Yo, what's happening, guys? It's your boy Uncle P with another episode of Uncle P's podcast. Yes, guys, yes, I know there's a lot of noise out there about Nigeria joining BRICS, and everybody's been asking me to give my opinion on this. Okay, so it was a tricky one because I was supposed to post this video even yesterday already, but I needed to look at what angle I was going to take it because keeping your guys' attention is very tricky. Okay, but I think I found an angle that you guys are going to love. Okay. Let's watch this video first.
But ultimately, I think that Africa needs to learn from China, from Korea, from Iran, and from Russia, who first had these beautiful revolutions that commanded the respect. Then they developed their militaries, they developed nuclear bombs, they developed all these sorts of things, and then they built their economies. We're sitting here and we're talking about being in the United Nations, having a rotating seat in the United Nations Security Council. We're talking about the economic plans of Africa in the future, new currencies, African Union. All of that doesn't mean a whole lot if the West is going to come in and trample all over you. What good is a seat at the United Nations if they're not going to listen to you? The United States has to listen to China. They have to listen to Russia because China and Russia have a bunch of nuclear bombs that are already pointed at every Western city. Now, of course, I support Africa having nuclear bombs. I understand we're far away from that, and maybe it's a bit controversial to say that. I think the West needs to get very worried about the potential for Africa to...
So, one important thing I took from this video is that what this man is saying is that when we were part of the whole United Nations, G7 nonsense, we didn't really have much of a say because obviously Africa, there is no African country with the nuclear weapon power to fight America and Europe. What has changed now is that we have Russia and China as partners under BRICS, which now gives us fighting power if these people decide to attack Africa. Now, Nigerians, I want you guys to listen very carefully. And I keep saying this in my other videos, but I think you guys are so focused on all the negative that I say about you guys, which is true, that you forget the message that is being said. Remember I told you guys that the reason why France was going to Nigeria is because they need a military base, because that's the first thing they did when they shook hands with Tinubu. They started talking about military base.
Hi guys, we all know that the French president Emmanuel Macron invited Mr. Bola Ahmed Tinubu to France, which we all know that Mr. Bola Ahmed Tinubu traveled to France last week, and they went there discussing how to bring their military base in Nigeria. What is the French country? What is France military base coming to do in Nigeria? I am asking our president, why is our president trying to welcome France military bases in Nigeria? We all know that France have been kicked out by Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso. Now, what is France military base coming to do in Nigeria? Oh, really? We all know that Nigeria is like for that Christmas. Very soon, after coming with their military bases, they have to come with their mining company so they can suck oil. I don't know when we will have sense. The economic hardship in Nigeria is too much, and our president is still inviting, or is France, please, we don't need your military base in Nigeria. Take it away.
So that France can fight Niger, Chad, and all these countries, which Nigeria attempted. But now you need to understand, that doesn't fix your economy, which is what President Torre is trying to tell Africa. These Western people have come here, they've claimed aid, giving us this, giving us that, but look at our countries, they are still the same. This man then uses China as an example. China used its own people to build itself up, build its nuclear plants, until they became so powerful that America and all the other countries were forced to give them respect. But they needed partners and allies in order to make sure that if an attack ever came, they were strong enough. They partnered up with Russia. When Cyril Ramaphosa joined BRICS, he was criticized because a lot of people did not understand what BRICS was all about. Now everybody is beginning to realize BRICS is actually a force that helps us, Africans, remove ourselves from the Western dominance, slavery, if you may put it that way. But there's one thing everybody is not listening to, is what this man said, is the fact that we still don't have nuclear weapons. Remember, they're saying China and Russia have nuclear weapons pointing at the West. You come at us, we'll come at you. That's why you see Russia can do what it's doing to Ukraine and still be able to go ahead with their lives. Look at what is happening in Congo and all the other African countries that still have war. That's Western influence. So I keep telling people, we are just replacing one slave master with another because we still don't have our own nuclear weapons. Maybe this slave master will create opportunities, open up more companies, more businesses, and allow our economies to grow. But what happens when their countries get too full, like China? What happens when Russia needs slave workers to rebuild their country? We don't have the nuclear weapons to say no to them. Just new masters. So the Nigerians when you know what's funny about Nigerians? Every time something happens, they always want to claim that they want to claim superiority. So Nigerians are claiming that they were. Let me play this video.
Congratulations to Nigeria as BRICS officially adds Nigeria to the alliance as partner country. Do you know what it means? This is a good and a welcome development. It will help.
BRICS asks Nigeria. Nigeria, you were not asked. You guys were begging. And I'll prove it. Let's continue with her first. I want to show you the ignorance of a lot of Africans and why supporting BRICS is not a bad thing, but it's definitely not a good thing. Let's listen to this later.
The currency and also the naira. For those of you who don't understand, BRICS is Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. This joint country, Nigeria has also joined the partnership. Do you know what it means? It will help Naira so well.
Okay, so first of all, Nigeria is joined as a partner, not as a full member, because they don't trust Nigeria. That's the honest truth. BRICS does not trust Nigeria. What you don't understand is, in order for BRICS to work, they need to show that they've got a strong military. That if America or Europe decides to attack, they will fail. And why am I saying this? Because of the following statements that were made by Donald Trump. Let me just find that video. Let's listen.
The problem with what we have with sanctions, and I was a user of sanctions, but I put them on and take them off as quickly as possible because ultimately it kills your dollar and it kills everything the dollar represents, and we have to continue to have that be the world currency. I think it's important. I think it would be losing a war if we lost the dollar as the world currency. I think that would be the equivalent of losing a war. That would make us a third world country, and we can't let it happen. So I use sanctions very powerfully against countries that deserve it.
They can't let that happen because that's true. If the dollar loses power, America literally will become like well, not necessarily. It's just that they're not going to be the powerhouse. They can't bitch and moan about nothing. They have to pay what is right. And America doesn't want to pay what is right because they're the big boys. Yeah, and he used the term war very, not loose. He knows exactly what he's talking about. And let me show you, I didn't think I was going to use this video on this episode, but now it makes sense. Let me show you guys the setup of America in Africa, okay? Let me find that video. I'm having very difficulties finding videos on my tablet because I got so much content I want to bring you guys. It's insane. Give me a second here.
Western military bases in Africa are humiliating and oppressive to us Africans due to historical and neo-colonial associations. These bases are colonial exploitation and interference in our African affairs. It is a challenge to national sovereignty. They train and arm terrorists to destabilize our continent. These military bases work with various NGOs and IGOs to control African leaders and the continent economy. The military bases are here in Africa to steal our critical natural resources. They are there to create a perpetual dependency, and they undermine efforts for self-determination. Can we Africans ever put a military base in any Western country? So why do they humiliate us like this? How do we get rid of them?
How do we get rid of them? And this is exactly how we do it. Now, the problem was Nigeria. Everybody knows Nigeria has the largest population in Africa. I think they're like, what, the third, fourth largest population in the world? So having Nigeria become part of BRICS was extremely important in the creation of the military that will fight if needed. So basically, Nigeria, this celebration you are having of being part of BRICS, yes, it's good. You know, hopefully it helps your country. But we just need you guys to be the pawns in a bigger dream. What Nigeria needs to do is what Chad, Niger,
French troops got kicked out of Ivory Coast. France received yet another African boot. First Niger, Mali, Burkina Faso, kicking out French troops. Chad did the same later. Recently, Senegal, whose president Bassirou Faye is a Tijani Sufi, announced that Senegal will close all foreign military bases that mainly targets the French. And now, Côte d'Ivoire, aka Ivory Coast. What a colonial name. What the hell are the French doing there anyway, stealing ivory? Will decommission all French troops during this month of January. What are my thoughts on this? It's in the time. By the time, wa al-asr. Everything has a beginning and an end. America is failing. When America is failing in Ukraine, which they are doing, all American satellite states get revealed. The satellites also fail.
you guys need to stand against your government and fix your country from inside. No outside help will come and fix your country. So basically, what you guys are not thinking is, you now expecting China to come and start building. You see the Mukokos build. It's not going to happen. Yes, they're building railways. Those railways are so that it's easy to export and import goods. That they're building refineries and everything for electricity, but they will focus on the cities and towns where there's fuel, oil, and where they're going to be operating. The rest of the country. And this is the intelligence I'm trying to give Africans. Guys, as much as BRICS is good, the only way we benefit from BRICS is if we ourselves fix our countries. Angola, Congo. Look at what's happening in Mozambique. Look at what's happening in Mozambique. So in the end of the day, guys, as great as BRICS sounds, we need to be extremely cautious. Extremely cautious. In the sense of that, as like countries like South Africa, they don't need to be excited about BRICS. You know, it's fine. It's going to benefit South Africa massively. But they don't have to be excited like Nigeria, because South Africa is okay. Nigeria, Angola, all those countries joining BRICS, trust me. Oh, it is heaven for us. Because we are hoping that these individuals will come in and build our infrastructures, create more jobs and more opportunities. But you need to have a smart leader. Because if you don't have a smart leader, they're just going to use your country, suck out of your natural resources. Those military they're going to make in Nigeria, it must be Chinese military. Because America is doing it. So they're just going to reverse, start creating Russian militaries and Chinese militaries all over Africa. And then they control us. They need to allow us to create our own militaries with our own people. Enforce our militaries and our weaponaries, and enforce our ability to fight for ourselves, including against them, if needed. That is democracy and true freedom. I'm a boy, Uncle P. Let me know what you guys think on the comments below. And we're going back to normal programming, if you know what I mean. Cheers.